What is going on, Sports Wars? A very impromptu stream today because, we just put a video about this breaking MLB news. And listen, on the day of the NCAA National Championship game, I didn't think we would be talking about baseball. I didn't think we would, but that's where we are because the Houston Astros just got dealt a punishment as severe as I've ever seen.
That's pretty rough, man. They came crashing down. They just. You said this is the biggest punishment you've ever seen?
Well, it's one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. I would say that. Sorry, my stupid computer just started. I would say that it's one of the biggest. Like, I've never seen a GM and a coach get punished like this before. We see players that get suspended for PEDs for a season. That kind of thing happens all the time. I have never seen a coach and a GM suspended for a year. And that was the initial news that came down. That's what broke that, AJ Hinch and Jeff Luhnow were going to be suspended for a year. The Houston Astros, we will talk about all this, guys. We'll talk about all this whole cheating thing, everything. But I thought that initially it was just going to be the suspension. Then the owner, Jim Crane, I believe his name is, for the Houston Astros, after this punishment comes down, he comes over the top and says, all right, y'all are fired. You're done. I want you out of here. And that's exactly what he did. He cleaned house. He immediately just fired both of them. So now not only can they not do anything next year, they don't have jobs either.
So what were they caught doing?
So we will talk about that. So they were caught cheating. A big report came out a couple months ago about the Houston Astros. Some players had come forward. Some other people had come forward and basically went on the record with some reporters and said that the Houston Astros cheated during the 2017 season, the year that they won the World Series. Now, it should be noted that there's no proof, at least that anyone can tell, that they cheated during the World Series.
Can you be, I'm sorry, man.
I will.
A little more specific on what that cheat was.
I very much can. And I will even pull up an article and we can read along. But it has to do with stealing signs.
Yeah, the stealing signs trick.
But
using a camera feed. So for the newbies that could be popping in, you are not allowed to steal signs that are coming from the bench, or you're not allowed to steal signs coming from the base coaches.
Well, I would say that rule. So here's the thing. I would actually say that stealing signs is part of baseball.
Yeah.
That it just is, right? If you're standing on second base, there's John Matrix right there. John Matrix, who is a Astros fan. Jim Crane ain't playing. I'm right down the road from Minute Maid, and bam, we have no manager, GM, and pitchers and catchers report in about a month. Yeah, he said that he's going to be running baseball operations till he finds a replacement. John, hey, you know a lot about this, John. If you want to come on, let me know in the chat. We'll send you a DM. We'll get you on here to talk, man.
Yeah.
Because I know you're really in depth into what's going on as an Astros fan. So let me know.
That's why I ask, as a basketball person, asking for clarification. Someone in the chat says you are not allowed to steal signs using tech.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So watching it yourself and saying, "Hey, I think he's doing this," and then telling it to the manager is okay.
Yeah, so it's like a gamesmanship thing. It's like if you're stealing sign, you know that baseball's an old game, man. Like, yeah. If you're on second base and you're looking in and you're trying to relay signs to the hitter, players on the other team will get upset with you, right? Because they think that that's not the way the game should be played, right? But it's a gamesmanship. You're going to try to get that advantage. However, what the Houston Astros were doing in the 2017 season is during home games, they were setting up a camera in center field pointed at home plate. And they had a crew sitting there basically watching the live feed in between the dugout and the clubhouse. And as the sign came in, they would bang a trash can to indicate to everyone on the team what the sign was, like what was coming up. And they were using a camera to do this. A pretty a pretty convoluted way to steal signs.
And then they relay that to the batter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Oh, John's at work right now. Okay, I got you, man.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And there's a good one. I've heard everybody talking about that. John talked about it too. Alex Cora is a great point. We will bring up Alex Cora because he does play a big part in this. But I'm trying to find the article. I'll just kind of run through it, see if I can find it. But I wanted to find the article that actually specifically lays out exactly how these guys are. Oh yeah, Aaron wants to come in. Hell yeah. Whoops, that is not the right thing. Those are tags. But so Jay, you're a Marlins fan, right? Is that true?
Yep.
God, so it ain't even like you guys cheating. What, you win like 60 games that year?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. It's finally a baseball stream, says Thomas Gilkey. Yes. Man. So here we go. I'm trying to find. I was looking at a CBS
it's okay, guys.
article.
This is breaking news. We just kind of turned the cameras on, and we're setting things up as we go. So, thank you for being with us. Are you from Miami? Yes, I am, but I moved to Orlando just recently. Yes.
Look, and we got another fellow member of Sports Wars right here. Aaron, what's going on, bro?
Hey, Aaron, what's up, bro?
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure this works. How's everybody doing?
Good. So what do you think about all this? What are your initial thoughts?
This is crazy. The first thing that went through my mind was because wasn't there another team that had a World Series that they looked into also recently?
We're about to get into that. The Boston Red Sox the following year with Alex Cora as their manager, who was the bench coach with the Astros.
So 2 years in a row, I think they need to go back another year and revisit those 2016 Cubs because there's got to be something there too, right?
Hell no. Joe Madden's clean as a whistle. Chris Bryant would never do anything wrong. There's no way. They're safe. They're safe. They're not connected to those fools.
So my main question is, what happens to the players? Like, so obviously they fired the GM and who was the other guy that just got fired?
So they fired GM and the head coach. So AJ Hinch is gone. So guys, if you're just coming in, basically what happened today is the MLB concluded their investigation on the Astros cheating scandal from the 2017 season. And they handed out punishments, including $5 million fine, the first and second round draft picks for this year and next year, and also 1 year suspensions for AJ Hinch and Jeff Luhnow, the GM. So
they can't even work. Like, they're done. Nada. They got to wait for a whole nother year to even get a job.
Yes.
Wow.
Exactly. And so after that happened, the owner of the Houston Astros came out and said, F this, I'm done. Jim Crane, he said, F this, you guys are fired. I'll take over for right now in the interim. You guys aren't working here anymore.
Wow.
We got a super chat from Thomas Gilkey. What's going on, Thomas? I just got to say, Aaron is my boy. Love Aaron. Here you go.
What's up, Thomas? Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate you. So, yeah, and the thing that does tie into that is Alex Cora. So I found the article I was talking about. Let me just go ahead and share this with you guys here.
It's amazing. I see everyone in the chat. People are just saying everyone cheats, but Astros got caught.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody steals signs. Everybody tries to steal signs. Using the technology to steal signs like this is something that I don't think that everybody does.
So we have to put an asterisk on that 2017 title, right?
100%. 100%. Now, it should be noted that there's nowhere does it indicate that they use this during the World Series. Only during home games, because they couldn't do it. They obviously couldn't set up their own little camera and get their own little live feed like they had during away games. So it was only home games during the 2017 season at this point.
Right. But how many, that it just always said, like, how many would they have gotten to the World Series without all those home game wins from the cheating?
Yeah, exactly. And that's always the question that'll be asked, right? Now, it should be noted that a Reddit post came out and said that in the World Series, it was too loud, that it was too loud for them to hear the trash can. That's why they weren't doing it. So they tried using whistling instead. That is not in the MLB's report that I necessarily saw. However, should be noted that in this playoff run, the Astros got into a yelling match with the Astros, or the Yankees got into a yelling match with the Astros about whistling in the dugout. So it all connects. It all connects. Well, here's John. Here's John saying
no asterisks, man.
John is an Astros fan. He said they won the World Series on the road. They were a better team on the road in 2017. There you go.
So what though? I mean,
yeah,
you got to take into effect like the amount of regular season wins that they had leading up to being able to even get in the playoffs in the first place. So how do you not have an asterisk? Like there's no way you can say that. There's absolutely no way.
Well, I think that everyone's going to listen. I think that the Astros are absolutely loaded. They're super talented. It's very ironic. This team was built like the right way. It's the way that you're trying to build teams in this day and age. You know, you're shit for a couple years. You get together these incredible draft picks. You get a lot of talent. You spend money when you need to, when you're peaking. So you've got these guys like Correa. You get gems found like Jose Altuve. You get George Springer. All these pieces that come together. Alex Bregman. These talented guys, all young, you're not paying them $1 million or you're not paying them $1 billion yet. And they built it the right way. And unfortunately, this cheating scandal is going to hang over all of their heads for a while.
Yeah, I remember a lot of people saying, too, that the Astros were such a good team that a lot of people thought that maybe they would be that one team that could come out in like this new era of baseball and win back-to-back titles because that's how well built they were. And I know it's incredibly hard to win back-to-back titles in the MLB, but a lot of people had pegged them to be the one team to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought that they were my pick to win against the Nationals. Obviously, the Nationals just got hot, and they were riding that high.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I'm just like, the chat is just like, there's a lot of interesting points in the chat, too. Captain Texas says, just because you know the pitch doesn't mean you're going to hit it. So,
yeah, sure.
But I mean, on a professional, when you've made it to that professional level, you can understand. You change your bat swing up and everything else. I'm assuming, right?
Well, stealing signs is always a risky business because if they switch their signs on you and you're not sure and you're uncertain and you give an indication that it's going to be an off-speed pitch and it's not, you're going to really mess up the batter.
Right.
So I've even heard players who say they don't like to know the signs because they're constantly worried if it's right or not. I have heard that before. It should be noted that they are not punishing players involved in this. They are only punishing the GM, all the people that were in charge of the team. Because Carlos Beltran was on that team. He is now the manager of the New York Mets. They have already come out and say he will not be punished. But Alex Cora, John Matrix brought up in chat, Alex Cora, who went from being the bench coach of the Astros to the manager of the Boston Red Sox, who won the following year in 2018, they have also been accused, and they're also under investigation for stealing signs.
Wow.
Theirs is a little bit different. Theirs is kind of using like a replay booth and things like that. However, Alex Cora has been supposedly was like one of the ringleaders in this whole thing. So I would expect huge punishments for him within the next days, weeks. I'm not sure quite how long.
Okay, so for a newbie like myself, I don't understand the trash can beating or the whistle blowing. What is that? For someone who doesn't watch baseball, what is
that's like code? It's like code, right?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Hit it and so I hit it 3 times. It's a fastball.
Yeah, or whatever it is.
Okay. So that's what was going on. Okay, so basically what we're saying. All right.
Exactly. Yeah, that's basically it. So let me read to you guys. This is just an easy article to kind of understand exactly what's going on to make sure I didn't misspeak at all. So in November, this article came out on The Athletic. about how the Astros electronically stole signs. And that is the big thing, guys. We were talking about using tech. You're talking about using cameras to do this. Everybody tries to steal signs. That's why they're in code, right? That's why every team has a different way of saying how they do a pitch, because if you're putting it out there for everyone, the catcher is giving the pitcher a signal. If you're too stupid to hide that, then another player is going to figure it out. But it's when you're using technology to zoom in on the catcher's hands and relaying it to the player who has no idea. That's when this is over the line for Major League Baseball and for basically all people who play baseball in general. We have a $10 super chat right here. Wow, thank you very much. I don't know what this says. The Tad that shouldn't be for $10. I think that might be your name.
Great job, Ryan.
Yeah, I think that's it. There should be an asterisk on every game since they lowered the pitcher's mound and expanded season. And seriously, they are never going to stop technology from being used for stuff like stealing signs. Well, things like this will go a long way towards helping them stop it. But I do hear what you're saying. Lowered pitcher's mound, expanded season. Yeah, that's not. We used to have that high old pitcher's mound that could fire it in, and now it's all about scoring runs in baseball.
Someone just said breaking news: players are also being suspended, according to Bleacher Report.
Wow. I'll have to check that out. Can you see if you can pull up Bleacher Report, Jay, while I read this here?
Yes. Yep.
All right. So in November, this came out. The only player who has gone on record who spilled the tea, so the snitch in this whole thing, was Mike Fears, who's currently playing for Oakland A's, who spent the parts of 3 seasons at the Astros. What did they do? As noted in the introduction, the Astros used a camera positioned in center field to steal signs during games. Team personnel would watch the feed in a hallway between the clubhouse and the dugout and would relay what was coming by hitting a garbage can. They even have, let's see if we can actually pull this up. I didn't do this when I made the video, but let's see if we can find exactly how they were doing it. Be kind of hesitant to play, but you can't hear that, can you? Hold on.
No.
Let me add it back to the stream here with audio. I fucking hate StreamYard or whatever this is. All right.
Cheat and steal pitches.
You can hear that, right?
Opposing pitches.
Yep.
I don't know if I said that right. He said there was a banging from the dugout, almost like a bat hitting the bat rack every time a changeup signal got put down. I found the footage. Let's watch it. Here we go.
He has since used.
Bang. That one was very slight, but he takes the changeup. Now, Farquhar looking good. Let's see. Fastball, no bang at all. Takes it.
So it sounds like for off-speed pitches, they are hitting the trash can. For a fastball, they don't hit anything. That's kind of what it sounds like.
Next pitch. There's the changeup. Bang, bang, takes it.
Oh, wow.
Now it's like, wait, what? What's going on here? Now look. Fastball outside. So quick, 2 signs. Geared up for the fastball, fouls it off. Next pitch, change up. Bang, bang. That sequence.
So that is what we're talking about when they're talking about using the bang. You guys might not be able to hear that super great because it's playing over my computer, but you can hear it pretty clear. How well you can hear it in the stadium, in a super loud stadium, who knows? And they even said that it was too loud for them to use it during the World Series. But just a normal game where you're not completely amped up like the World Series, I can definitely see that being useful. That's for sure.
So is there, I mean, this is all because of the camera use, right? Like,
Yes.
like zooming in with the camera. Like, so if there was, let's say they were figuring this out without using the camera, it wouldn't be this big of a deal, right? Because there's no real, I mean, is there like a specific rule for these guys where they can't figure something out from the other team's signals and use it to their advantage? Is there like written rule against that? Or is this all because of they're just using technology to gain the advantage?
This is just because of the technology. That's it. It's up to the teams, right, to hide their signs well enough,
Right.
From players on the field. But you're not allowed to use technology during the game. That's why they don't allow people to have Apple Watches. We saw that be an issue before. Phil M says, you really think a batter can differentiate between whistles and bangs all within a fraction of a second? Even if that can consistently be heard over tens of thousands of people screaming crazy. Well, we heard it. And then he says, minimal at best. All right. Well, I could hear it pretty clearly. And they're suspending 2 guys for a year and fining them $5 million. So clearly they thought it has an effect. But anyway, back to this report. When did they do it? In the piece, they said that it was likely too loud to use a garbage can system during the World Series and that they weren't able to enact this system for away games. Then here is where the Reddit user made up a random post saying that they did it during the World Series, but with a whistle in place of banging. That is not in the MLB investigation. That's not been proven or anything like that. That is simply someone speculating. So just to be clear. Who is the MLB interviewing? So Carlos Beltran, Craig Bjornson, the Red Sox bullpen coach, who was another bench coach for the Astros, Alex Cora, like we said. And where's the Alex Cora part? I know there was a part in here about Alex Cora. I don't know, but here you go. Here's an important thing. Because it's against the rules and not just in the unwritten sense, like old school sign sealing, baseball took explicit steps to ban this kind of behavior, limiting the amount of live feed access available to teams and not permitting in-house cameras between foul poles.
Do us a favor, 50 people watching. Can you guys hit the like button for us, please? We only have 12 likes. Feeling a little lonely? It would be nice.
Yep. And yeah, people are saying in the chat, Hinch has been fired. Yeah, that is true. So we posted the video about the suspension, and then about 30 minutes later, the news came down that after Hinch and the GM had gotten fired or had gotten suspended, Jim Crane just straight up fired him. Boom, gone. So no, AJ Hinch is not the Astros manager anymore. They have been fired. The Astros have no manager. They have no GM. And spring training starts in a month.
Wow.
There you go. That is that.
How is this going to affect their season? Maybe nothing.
I don't know. It depends who's going to want to come into this kind of thing. You got to remember, too, these draft picks. Aaron, kind of what's your perspective here? Could you imagine if the White Sox got their first and second round picks taken for the next 2 years, how much that could impact the future of your franchise? Did you hear that, Aaron?
No, man, it kind of cut out.
Oh, sorry. All I said was imagine your 1 and 2 picks being taken away from your next 2 seasons in the draft.
Yeah, I know that the MLB draft isn't as like coveted as, obviously like NFL drafts and NBA drafts. And I feel like you can find a lot more gems, as you said earlier, in different situations when it comes to MLB. But regardless of all that, those first and second picks for consistent years that's going to hurt anybody. So yeah, that's kind of wild. But cheating is cheating, right? So there's got to be some kind of punishment.
You know what's crazy? Pete Rose is trending now.
I'm sure he is because. What happened was
because he's the man.
Well, because they threatened him with giving him the Pete Rose treatment. They said in this suspension, they said if you step another toe out of line, we will suspend you for life. That's what was said basically from Major League Baseball,
and that's why Pete Rose can never be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Because of that. Wow.
Well, hey, I'm getting ready to. Start my work day, guys, but thank you for letting me be on here for a few minutes with you.
It's good seeing you again, brother.
Yeah, man, you guys too. Jay, I love Jimmy Butler, man. You're so lucky to have him.
We are lucky to have him.
That's true,
He's
man.
doing us well. He's doing us well.
All right, well, keep up the good work, guys. Ryan, baseball, man, soon. It's going to be awesome. White Sox, you're going to be a fan.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll go see the White Sox in spring training while they're here for you. but I'm not going to be a fan of the
All
White
right, man.
Sox. I'll say that. All right. Have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Well, it's been a bad week for Texas. Been a bad couple of days. You know, my goodness. Yeah, the Texans looked like they were going to blow out the Kansas City Chiefs.
It looked good for the first quarter, and then God, it came roaring back.
And then now we got coach and all this cheating stuff that will. And you know what the worst part is about all this is like they're gonna whatever player was involved, like was there, they're gonna ask them all year long. You know, the media and everything is just gonna bother. That weighs heavy on people, man. They get sick of hearing that. So
yeah. So John's saying about the draft picks. Well, John, I mean, you know, from your team, you've got a couple. Like I said, you got those gems you can find in Jose Altuve, but you also have Alex Bregman was a first-round pick, I'm pretty sure. Carlos Correa was a first-round pick. George Springer was a first-round pick. You've got a lot of first-round picks on that team that you're loaded with talent. So I know there's a lot of rounds in Major League Baseball. And there's a lot of talent, and it takes a while to develop all of it. But you're not going to get any of that top-tier talent to reload your farm system, and not only to get players later, but we know that baseball, it's so much looking towards the future and using the talented players you have in your farm system to trade for players you can use right then. So, I mean, I think it's a pretty big deal. Yeah,
it sounds like it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
So it sounds like I said, not too much of a baseball person. I did watch the Marlins win 2 World Series when I was younger, but I don't know. This team, you know, like they're pretty stacked with talent still.
Oh yeah, they're still in.
Yeah, so they'll probably be a contender even, but we'll just see how the manager's story plays out. So
that's kind of the interesting part to me is that this team's still in win now mode.
Yeah,
you have arguably. This is still arguably the most talented team in baseball. You could at least make that argument. They're going to miss Garrett Cole after what he was able to give them after the trade deadline, but they've still got pitchers. They've still got tons of talent on the field. So who's going to be your manager though? It's interesting because you never see something like this happen where you have an incredibly talented team that's in win now mode that has all of these things that are now going to be holding the franchise. I don't want to say holding the franchise down, but impacting the franchise in the future, all this kind of baggage, but they're ready to hire a GM and coach right now. It's crazy.
Yeah. So do you think they're going to reach out to like a veteran, like maybe someone that might have even been retired just for like a year, or someone that knows how to win and just sign the biggest check to get someone in there right away?
So just thinking right now, I haven't thought about it till you asked me, but I think Bruce Bochy is available. I think Bruce Bochy is he was the Giants coach. This was his last year there. I don't think he signed with anybody in the offseason. There's a lot of people that were interested, but I don't think he did. Ron Washington. Ron Washington's a possibility. That is, I agree with you, Jed. That is what I see. Them signing a veteran coach to come in and stabilize the franchise at this point.
Yeah, even if it's just like for a year, you know, while they'll search for the long term, you know. We saw that. I hate to say we saw that in the Marlins. They brought in someone just for just to keep things together. So Tugs, you gotta love Tugs, man. You gotta love Tugs. Yeah, we know he's retired, but we're just wondering, like, could they pull him out for a year just to, hey, can you keep us organized while we do this thing properly? You know,
I could definitely see them hiring a guy like a Bruce Bochy. Somebody just said La Russa. He's been gone for a little while longer, but I could see that too. Like just an older guy that has a lot of clout that could immediately garner respect when you walk in there to stabilize what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I think they're just going to look right now for someone to keep the boat afloat and keep it together while they figure out a long-term goal. Yeah. That would be the smart thing. There's people, like you said, there's people out there that are older, that are veterans and retired, and you just say, like, all right, here's my checkbook. We need you right now as an emergency. Keep my team together. This ain't forever. Let's just see what happens. I mean, I don't even know if you're a veteran coach out there too, and you look at this roster, that also would be a little, you know what I mean? Like a little enlightening that you could possibly come out from retirement and win a World Series in a season. Wouldn't that just be a little bit enticing too?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're going to a stinker, it ain't like you're going to a team, that.
To me, it would be, yeah. Like I would definitely want that, especially like, listen, so the couple guys have been thrown around. Ron Washington, I'm sure, would love to have the job. Someone said a nose candy issue. Yeah, Ron Washington got fired from Washington for using cocaine. That was like, it seems like 10 years ago almost when that happened. These
amazing women in the chat are hilarious. Minor sports, hit the like button. Tug says, why would you use tech when you could just pick up the sign and run?
That's true. They're here for Jay. They're here for Jay. Yeah.
Jose says, "Oh, I see you guys on Geeks and Gamers." Nice.
That is true. We're also here. We're also here on Sports Wars. But Omar Vizquel is a great one. He's been a bench coach for a while. That's a good pick. But to kind of recap, guys, we probably won't go too much longer. We just kind of wanted to go live and talk about this since I just made a video. I didn't want to make another one. But
this is much easier.
Yeah. But so to recap, the Houston Astros over the winter got sometimes I stick these headphones in my ears and I can't hear anything. The Houston Astros over the winter, a report came out about them cheating during the 2017 season, the season in which they won the World Series. Since then, reports have come out. MLB have done the investigation. They were using a camera from center field to look in and steal signs and relay it to hitters through basically hitting a garbage can to tell them whether it was an off-speed pitch or not. And that happened. The punishment just came down today, a pretty harsh one. Like I said, I don't know if I've ever seen something like this happen to a GM and a coach, but AJ Hinch and Jeff Luhnow, now the former coach and GM, but at that time they were the current ones. They got suspended for a year each. The Astros got fined $5 million and lost their first and second round draft picks in 2020 and 2021. Maybe about 45 minutes after that happened, the owner of the Houston Astros, Jim Crane, said, "F this noise. You guys aren't part of this franchise anymore. You fired." And
but they still have the World Series rings on their finger.
They do. I hear something weird. Is that you? There's like some weird hissing noise coming from you. It's like a snake, or are you peeing?
No.
But yeah, it's very strange. But anyway, so they get fired. It's gone now when you mute. You fired. They're out. Now the Astros have no GM. They have no manager. We're about a month away from spring training really getting started for pitchers and catchers reporting. And the Houston Astros are, I think, they got to be reeling. They got to be reeling. Phil M says, must be a fastball coming. Yeah.
Is it still there? It's so weird.
It's not bad. No, it's fine. It just got like really loud for some reason.
It's my cell phone.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. I forget that it's right next to the cord. Yeah. I don't know.
There's Mary too. Mary was in here earlier.
My
She's
equipment
listening
sucks.
And lurking.
The funny thing is, like I said, like Pete Rose is now number one trending, and people are angry. They're like, why is Pete Rose still banned from the Hall of Fame? Like, that's just all they're saying. They're just like, Pete Rose needs to go and lobby for the Hall of Fame right now. Like, they're just all over Twitter how they feel that this punishment is a slap on the wrist compared to what Pete Rose got. That is what is going on Twitter.
Yeah.
So
Pete
Rose got banned for betting on his own team. This is 8 million times worse, resulting in a championship, and they only get 1 year. Pete Rose lifetime ban for gambling. These douchebags get 1 year. Yeah, crazy.
I think that
it's just different rules, right? Like that's just
it's a different era too. I mean, you got to remember this happened like 40 years ago. It happened a long time ago for Pete Rose. We'll see. Yeah, I see Phil Hughes talking about it. All Pete Rose did was bet fairly on his own team to win. 1989, so about 30 years ago, I guess, is when Pete Rose and that happened. In the last 100 years, this is from Jason Stark, only 2 other managers have been suspended for 1 year or longer. Pete Rose's lifetime ban for gambling, which I do think that is the punishment if you get caught gambling in baseball. Punishment was lifetime. Leo DeRocher's 1 year ban for inappropriate associations. I don't even know what that means. But those are the only 2 other people in the last 100 years that got suspended for more than a year.
This is really off topic, but Antonio Brown is now trending because he has cops surrounding his house and he's live streaming the event.
Are you serious?
It's on bar. Yeah.
What is going on in the world today?
He's live streaming the event. He got into a fight with his baby's mama.
Fuck out of here. Fucking police.
Well, I don't know that. That didn't take long. Oh, this was 4 hours ago. Man, we totally missed this.
Yeah.
I like this comment. Mike Tomlin should go to the Hall of Fame today for being able to deal with Antonio Brown for 9 years.
That's old news. My bad. I was just looking at Twitter trendings, and it's still trending. Next to Pete Rose.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm totally missed that because I
missed that too. I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Antonio Brown goes on IG Live in front of cops. His yes men.
We need to move Lonzo. That ain't no problem. That ain't no problem. We need to move Lonzo.
Shannon Sharp is useless.
Yeah, yeah.
God.
Oh my gosh. This poor guy.
Boom. There you go.
What a hot mess.
But yeah, that is the news, guys, about the Astros. No longer have their coach and GM. We went through how they cheated, how they determined it, and MLB came down hard. Alex Cora is next. Like I said, let me talk about that before we stop real quick.
You can still hear my hissing?
Just a little bit.
What the freak?
Oh, yeah, I know that Shannon clip wasn't about Antonio Brown. That was just a random clip of Shannon Sharp being a weirdo. Let's see. Where is it? Here we go. Boston Red Sox manager Alex Cora, who was implicated in the schemes, was not disciplined, but is expected to receive a similarly harsh penalty upon the completion of an investigation the illicit use of the video replay room by the 2018 Red Sox. And like we said, Alex Cora was the bench coach for this 2017 season, like we were talking about. Let's see. And they say, while the scheme to steal signs and relay them to batters was banging on a garbage can was player-driven, Rob Manfred said that no players were disciplined, including Carlos Beltran, who's now the manager of the New York Mets, who was a player during that time. So, and that's also what Crane said, that players will not be disciplined.
John Matrix, would you care to send me a Blue Yeti?
Get rid of that mic, yeah.
I know, it's a snowball. It's the old snowball.
That's not what this stream is for. This stream was for the all the breaking news that happened in baseball. We will have some coverage up for the game tonight. This NCAA, I hate the way they do this championship. I feel like it's been a million years.
I like it when it was. Didn't they used to do it on the 1st, like January 1st?
Well, it depends. It went through phases. It used to be you had your big bowl games on the 1st, and then usually like the day or two after you had the national title game. But yeah, before that, it was the 1st for everything. And then once they introduced the BCS, you had maybe like a day or two in between.
Yeah.
Now it's like you have all your New Year's Days games, and those don't even matter because everyone's worried about the college football playoff. So it's been like 2 weeks since that game, though. It's just, I don't know. It feels like everything's fallen off because now we're in the NFL playoffs. We're so invested in that. So I don't know. I don't like it. The players were involved just as much as the coaches. Bunch of crap. And stripped their ass and crowned the Dodgers. Well, that's true. I mean, the Dodgers are pissy about it. That's true.
Hey, check your Twitter DMs real quick.
Me? Let's see. Bum bum. Bum bum bum. Oh my God. Jesus. This is insane. All right. But that is it for this stream, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I know Jay's got stuff to do. I got some stuff to do today. We will have coverage coming up for the national championship, and I'm sure for Antonio Brown's crazy ass. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the super chats. And, you know, that's the news. That's why you got to have that notification bell turned on, because you never know when crazy stuff's going to happen and we come out with breaking news. But thank you guys for being here. Jay, thanks for hopping on, man. I really appreciate it last minute. And thanks for everybody in the chat for hanging out. And we will talk